Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the one and only Mr. TYB. We are here with a new episode of the Project Recap Podcast, Episode 9, Endgame. We've got a lot of new things going on in this episode. We've got some good topics we're going to talk about, some NBA, some music-related topics, and a few other things as well. Of course, we're going to start off with our quick recap, and as you can see, we're doing it a whole lot differently than ever before. We've got an actual visual, if you will. So I'm not going to hold up too much of your time. I know it's been a long time coming, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. Let's go ahead and start off with the quick recap. Yes, it is I, Mr. TY. We are here with the quick recap. First off, what's going on? This obviously is something different. This is something that I've never done before with this kind of setup and what you just saw take place with that transition. So yeah, that's going to be how we're doing things going forward. This is something I've been working on since episode 8, something that I was actually going to plan for episode 10, but I figured why not just go ahead and do it? Why put it off for episode 10? So I took some time away from the podcast, like actually putting out episodes every week, because we were doing good. We were consistent. That was one of my goals for the year, was to be more consistent with Project Recap. And I think I did a pretty good job for the first 8 weeks of it. And then it got closer to episode 10. I'm like, well, I'm tired of doing the same thing because I don't feel like anything is changing as far as like the viewership or, as far as like how many fans we have or supporters we have on Project Recap, things like that. So I really had to go to the drawing board and figure out what could I do to improve the podcast? What can I do to change it up? So I figured this is a good step in the direction. I put some money into it, and here we are. So this is the plan going forward. And what I think something I've also been considering is, should I do this more than once a week with this kind of format? And I think I could. I want to get more and like get this system down pat as far as how this is going to work for me, because I'm doing this all solo. Everything that you're seeing being done, everything is being done by me. There's no extra hand. So it's definitely a lot to process, but I think for me, I'm more than capable of getting this done and producing a great product. So I hope you guys do enjoy what this episode is going to look like, and definitely give me some feedback. Hit me up, Twitter, Instagram, text me, whatever. Let me know how you feel about it, what you think could improve with it, what you would like to see from it, because you're going to see a lot on this episode. Trust me, a lot. So that's the future of Project Recap. I do want to go ahead and get into some other topics with our quick recap. This is our, if you will, I call it the quick recap screen. I don't have a better name for it, but did want to go ahead and start that off. So Netflix signed a deal with Sony. From what I see, they're going to get a whole lot of movies coming in next year, I think in 2022, like the new Spider-Man movie, the new Venom movie, and some others. So that's something that's going to be crazy. I know HBO Max has been putting a lot of pressure on everybody else. Hulu, Netflix, the newly, or I won't say new because Paramount Network just renamed from a different streaming service. I can't remember the previous name, but HBO Max has been applying a lot of pressure. So Netflix, seeing that they were kind of the juggernaut of this video streaming service, they had to do something. So I feel like this is a huge move. I mean, you getting Sony films straight to Netflix, that's crazy. And again, the new Spider-Man movie, I want to see that, because that's supposedly going to have Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and the current Spider-Man. I can't remember his real name, but y'all know who I'm talking about, from Far From Home and the Avengers movies and everything. So I'm excited to see that, especially when I got Tobey Maguire. That's what I came up on. I'll never forget the day I came home and I had that DVD on my bed of Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire. Man, that was all she wrote for me. I was a fan ever since. So I'm excited to see how they bring him in. Like, I think Dr. Octopus or Doc Ock, whatever, I can't even say his name right. That's embarrassing. But he's supposed to be in it. So I want to see who else they're going to bring in. Like, I doubt Green Goblin's going to be in. I mean, dude died in the first movie. I don't remember Dr. Octavius dying or not. I can't remember. I should have researched this before I started this. But yeah, that's cool to me. I think that's a huge move by Netflix to do that. And I'm very, very excited to see what the first release is going to be. I don't know if they have a list of like the scheduled releases yet, but as soon as I find out, definitely gonna let y'all know here on Project Recap. Up next, Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul have agreed to fight on June 6th. I know you guys have seen a lot of tweets or videos recently of Floyd getting into it with the Paul brothers. He got his hat snatched by Jake. It's all very like WWE to me. Like, it's all scripted. It's all just to get people to tune in. It's a good business move for them to do what they've been doing, because it's getting people interested. They're generating that interest. And I think when you have big names like that, no matter if you respect them or not, like them or not, they're making smart business moves. But I'm not really interested in the fight. I feel like if Floyd loses, he's definitely getting paid off, and that's a huge slap in the face to like all the work you put in your 50 previous fights. So I think it would be a bad move on Floyd to like sell out pretty much. So I mean, if I was to bet on this, I would bet on Floyd. I mean, dude, come on, bro. That's I don't even have to break down why. I think y'all understand why I would do that. Up next, J. Cole messed that all up. J. Cole just recently released the interlude from his new album or new project coming up, the off season. I definitely played that quite a few times the night of. I'm not gonna hype it up like I've seen other Cole fans do, because there's not much that he provided in this song. It's such a short song. It's a good song, don't get me wrong, I love it. It's just so short to the point where you can't really gas it up like that. It feels like so incomplete, but I understand it's the interlude. It'll sound better in the within the album itself. So that's why I'm not really trying to gas the song up like I've seen so many people tweet some of the most basic bars from the song. Don't get me wrong, again, I love the song. I'm a big J. Cole fan. I'm hyped for the off season and the fall off and It's a Boy, everything he's got coming. I just am not going to react like other Cole fans that I've seen. It's really I just want more. That's all. I'm gonna leave it at that, because it was such a short song. It didn't have a hook, didn't have a chorus. It was just straight bars, and it was like a minute or so in total as far as like actual bars. So I mean, yeah, y'all go check it out. I know some that are watching are probably not J. Cole fans. I know. I don't even want to have to try to convince you. Just give it a try. Also, new movie featuring A$AP Rocky just released on Netflix entitled Monster. I checked it out last night. It's okay. Not a bad movie at all. I feel like we've seen it before. I feel like it was it's kind of like another movie that Netflix put out a few years ago. I won't dive too much into it in case you haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil it, but if you watch it, if you guys go watch Monster, I feel like you guys may feel the same way. Like, it's a good movie, but I feel like we've seen this kind of movie already. So I don't know. And the ending was so kind of abrupt and predictable to me. My bad, I'm itching a little bit on my shoulder, but it was kind of predictable once it got towards the end. So I really, it was good. It was good. Could have been better. I did like A$AP Rocky in the movie. I think he was pretty good in the movie as far as his role. Yeah, tell me what you guys think. Go check it out. Again, that's on Netflix right now. Also, Marvel announced several upcoming projects, including the new Fantastic Four movie, Guardian of the Galaxy 3, The Marvels, The Eternals, and quite a few other movies. I'm very hyped for the Fantastic Four movie specifically because I want to see if they really integrate the Fantastic Four into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So like with like, especially in the Eternals, that's another one I'm hyped for. Ever since Endgame, it's ironic this episode is called Endgame. Ever since Endgame, I think I had like right after I saw Endgame when it came out, I did some digging, did some research, and saw like information about what was next. And the Eternals was the first thing I came across. So this is something I've been anticipating. I think it's gonna and quote me if I'm wrong because I'm not too informed as far as like who the Eternals are and what part they or how they like what role they play in this story as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But from if I'm not mistaken, what I read a while back, I'm trying to think, I think this is supposed to like tell the kind of like the backstory of Thanos a little bit. Quote me, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not too sure, but that's why I'm interested. I want to see like where did Thanos come from? Like how did he become who he is? So that's going to be very interesting to see. And last but not least on the quick recap, I did want to talk about something that has been blowing up, not just recently, but really since January. Dogecoin. Dogecoin is something that has been going up. I hate myself because I bought Dogecoin in January when it was under a penny. It was like, I feel like I bought in around like 0.004 or something like that. And I sold out after like a few weeks. And now we look back, or we look at it now, it's at like 65 cents. It's been like juggling around 60 to 70 cents the past few days. Imagine how much I would be up if I would have kept my coins. But it's all good because I bought back in about a month ago. I bought a little bit. I didn't want to put too much down because I didn't know like which direction Doge would be going, but I'll take what I can get. I'm not really looking for a big return out of Dogecoin. I have, though, been investing in other crypto currencies, specifically altcoins, and altcoins are pretty much big. Anything that's not a Bitcoin. So Dogecoin is an altcoin. And then it breaks down even more after that. But I've been interested in quite a few different coins. I kind of want to be selfish. I'm gonna put y'all on game. I've been looking at a few coins like BitTorrent, SafeMoon. SafeMoon's a very, 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 very popular one right now, and it's extremely cheap. So if you're looking for a way to get in crypto, I think something like SafeMoon is a safe bet. No pun intended. Just saying. I mean, I don't know what the current price is, but it's definitely it's cheap. Like you say, I think a few weeks ago when I put in like $20 or $25, I got about 4 or 5 million coins. You know, versus I just put down maybe $100 in Doge about a month ago and got about 400. So just think about that. Millions and millions of coins. Imagine if that blows up, like if the price of that coin blows up to a penny or a dime, 20 cent, 30 cent, $1, and I've got that many coins. I'm quitting my job. I'm never working again. I'm moving. I'm getting out of here. Man, I'm not even gonna go too further into that. But Safe Mars is another one I've been looking at. Tron, StormX. I do have some of Bitcoin. I have a little bit of Bitcoin. Verge. I've been looking at Ripple or XRP. I've been looking at VeChain, and quite a few others. There's a lot that I've come across, but only a few that I've really been interested in. And I do what they call my due diligence, or your DD. I do a little bit of research before I'm like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and waste this money. And what I also like to research, because it's not easy getting some of these coins. Like, it's not just you download the app, you put your debit card in, how many coins you want, you put that in, you purchase. It's not that easy. Some apps like Robinhood and Coinbase and Voyager, which are the main apps I use, and Bitmart is another one I use. Bitmart is more so for like SafeMoon and Safe Mars, and it is more of a process to that. And if y'all are ever interested, I can show y'all how you get coins like that on Bitmart. I have a system that works. I'm not trying to say all or nothing, but it really is a simple process. If you are interested in buying cryptos, again, I can tell y'all how to get like coins like SafeMoon and Safe Mars and a few others that are on Bitmart. But the other ones I use is, of course, the more popular one for beginners is Robinhood. That's where I have my Doge at, and then Voyager and Coinbase is where I get everything else. Stellar is another one. XLM, that's another coin that I've been very interested in as far as like the utility of it. That's a pretty cool thing. But yeah, Coinbase, Voyager, those are two other good ones. So if y'all are looking to just have a simple process where you can put your debit card in after, you know, you get verified and all that stuff, it does take some time before you can actually start buying coins. It goes through a verification process. Once you're verified, put your debit in, find the coins that you want, and shop away. Of course, they want you to have those funds in your card for a few days so they can, you know, make that transaction. But anyways, I'm rambling. Yeah, definitely let me know if y'all want to learn more about a few of those things. Also, a disclaimer I should have said this before I even started talking about the cryptos. Don't take any of my advice as financial advice. I'm new to this. I'm nowhere near a financial advisor. I'm just putting a little bit of money in, and I'm willing to lose, if you will, $20 here and there on a coin that's like really, really, really cheap, and let it sit for a year or so and see where I go. So yeah, again, let me know what you think as far as those cryptos, and I'll talk more about that in future episodes if you guys are interested. But we're going to go ahead and get right into the very first topic, the main topic of today. I got to start it off the correct way, just because of how poorly these guys are playing. Got to talk about my Celtics. So let's go ahead and get into this next topic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. The Celtics have definitely been very, very inconsistent recently. We just lost to the Bulls yesterday. We got 2 games coming up, very tough games that I think we're going to lose. 2 games against Miami. We got the Knicks, the Wolves, and the Cavs. Those are our last 5 games of the season. Ever since the trade deadline, we are 14-9. I felt like we were showing flashes like we wanted to get better. Like we really have been making strides to get better. After the trade deadline, we had a 6-game win streak where we beat the Knicks, the Timberwolves. We beat those Lakers. We beat those Lakers. Yes, sir. The Warriors, the Blazers, and the Nuggets during that 6-game win streak. That was from April 7th to the 17th. A pretty good stretch. And I thought, is this who we are going to be for the rest of the season? And then, boom, we just went back to being who we are. Not really being consistent on defense, turnovers, not getting back in fast breaks, settling for threes, settling for bad shots overall in a lot of those losses. Even when we came back against San Antonio, when we were down 32, it was looking like the same old Celtics this year, like just so inconsistent. You really don't know how to. It's been tough for me to really gauge the Celtics because they haven't been that consistent team. So I don't know how we're going to play out for the rest of the season. We got 5 games left. We've got the Heat back-to-back, Cavs, Timberwolves, and Knicks. A few weeks ago, before we lost to the Thunder, my prediction for those last 10 or 11 games was like, we can go 7-3, 8-4. I'm already about to be off with that. We're currently 3-3 since that game against the Thunder a few weeks back. I'm now going to predict, based on the last 5 games that we have, we can go. I feel like we're going to lose those games to Miami. We're going to lose both of those. We played them Sunday. It's an early game. We played them again Tuesday. Then we have again the Cavs, Knicks, and Wolves. I think the only teams out of that five games are going to be are the Cavs and Wolves. And I'm skeptical about the Wolves because of Cat. Anytime we go against a team that has a really good big, we get abused and exposed. So if we don't have Robert Williams back by the Minnesota game, I think that's the game we could lose. If he's back, I think we can win. So if we would have finished that way, we would end up finishing 40-38 for the season. That would be the least amount of wins under Brad Stevens since his 2014-2015 season, where we went 40-42. We ultimately got swept by the Cavs that year in the first round. I think that was also our first round back in the playoffs since the whole Paul Pierce, KG, Ray Allen era and Rondo leaving and everything. That was the first time back in the playoffs. IT led that team with Avery Bradley. I don't even think IT played that series. I think he was hurt, as a matter of fact. But I did want to speak back on our inconsistencies as far as as far as month-to-month records. As far as month-to-month records, even when you look back throughout the entire season, we just haven't really had a solid month. April started off pretty good. I think at one point we might have been 11-4 in April, but now we're 12-7. But just to look back throughout the season, December we were 3-2. Short, of course, we played in a shortened season, so we didn't play that many games in December. January 7-6. February we were under 500 for the first time as far as a monthly record. We were 7-9. March, same thing, 6-8, under 500, and then again this month we're 12-7. So obviously it's been a tough season for us as far as health wise and COVID, because we've had I've been trying to find this stat that I saw on Twitter over a month ago, about a month and a half ago or so, that the Celtics have been most affected by COVID as far as players that have missed time due to COVID. So it's I get a lot of people that hit me up damn, CJ, what's going on with the Celtics? Y'all shouldn't be dropping these games. And I understand. I get it. I agree. I don't think we're a team that should be losing the games we've lost. But when you see how often we haven't had our entire team, especially our starters, it's hard to string together wins consistently. You're not consistently playing together, so you're not going to consistently win. So I hate that it's going like this, because it's going like this for a lot of teams this year, not just us. I'm not saying that just because we've had it the worst, there should be an excuse, because there's no excuse. We still have a lot of talent on this team, and we still blow games. So it's no excuse. Um, I just hate that, COVID with this shortened season, COVID, and then also you got to mix in the fact that we've had players out, Kimba, JB, Robert Williams. I think Jason has missed a handful of games, not much. Marcus missed games. Of course, we gave up Daniel Tyson. I feel like Daniel Tyson not replacing him properly has been a big problem for us too, but it's been rough, and I just hope we get it together because, of course, again, we got 5 games left. We're currently in a playoff or in a play-in position. If the season were to end today, we would have to play the Hornets in a play-in, and I don't know how to feel about going against the Hornets, who just beat us a few weeks ago, and then of course we beat them the same week, a few games after. I think it was like we lost Sunday, beat them again, or beat them in the rematch Wednesday. So obviously that can go either way. I don't have if we were to end up in the play-in, if we can just keep the 7 or 8 seed, because that gives us 2 chances to win the play-in and actually advance either with the 8th or the 7th seed, depending on where we end up. I just want us to figure it out. I just want us to figure it out ASAP, because it's not looking too good, to be honest. We got again Miami Sunday. Miami just beat Minnesota last night, and I've been wanting them to lose so we can hold on to the 6th seed. But Miami, I talked to my homie B about this a lot. They're a tough team. Like, with the additions they made, with you got Iggy still on the bench, you brought in Trevor Ariza, Victor's out right now, but Victor Oladipo, that's a big addition. Dwayne Dedman, you got Bielitsa, you brought in, like, you still got guys like Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Goran. You got my guy Bimmy Jutler, Bam, somebody that I still have nightmares about as far as that block on Jason Tatum in game 1 of the conference finals last year, but not going to be easy. That's why I think they can beat us in both of these games that we're about to play them, man. So we'll see. I don't want to write us out entirely because we're a good team. Don't get me wrong. We just haven't been playing like the Celtics that I know, that I saw last year, that I saw during, the 6-game win streak in early, or I should say mid-April. Like, we show flashes of how good we can be. We just can't sustain it, and that's an issue. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. Again, we'll talk a little bit about the play-in tournament as well as this episode goes on. But we're going to go ahead and get right into the next topic. We're going to dive right into a little MVP discussion. Joel versus Jokic. That's something that I definitely been wanting to talk about on the podcast a lot, just because this has been coming up a lot recently, especially with like comments by Nick Wright when he said Chris Paul should be MVP over Jokic because Jokic isn't, like, his argument was so poor, like it was so all over the place. It was like he was desperate to make his point and it just flopped. And obviously the NBA community on Twitter is not receptive to what he had to say about Jokic, who I think is MVP. And I'll tell you why. I'll go ahead and tell you why I feel like he's MVP. It's mostly because he hasn't missed a game all year. Bro has played literally every game. He has not missed work. I can't say the same for me. He has not missed work. So I think he's MVP mostly because of that, not only because of how Denver has played without guys like Jamal Murray, who got hurt. And we'll talk about a little bit about that too. But and not only that, as far as what he's had to play with and what he's had to, not play with per se, like again, Jamal Murray, the numbers he's put up in both of those situations, I'll break that down a little bit too. He's averaging throughout the season 26, 11, and 8.5 assists on 57, 41, 86 splits. So 57 from the field, 41 from the 3, and 86 from the free throw line. Not bad at all, especially for a big. 57 double-doubles this year, 15 triple-doubles. He's played in 40-plus minutes in 7 games this year, averages 35 minutes a game, and has scored 40-plus at least 5 times this year. Again, the Nuggets sit currently 4th in the West. Comparing Joel's numbers to that, Joel is also putting up very similar numbers, if not a little bit better, 29 and 11 with 51, 37, 86 splits, 30 double-doubles this year, no triple-doubles. I mean, I don't think that, the fact he has none, Joel's not a passing big. That's not really his game, but he makes up for it in so many other ways, obviously. So, not to take nothing away from him with that comment at all, but he's played in 40 plus minutes one game this year, averaged 32 minutes a game, and has scored has scored at least 40 points is at least 5 times as well. The Sixers are currently first in the East, though. That's what kind of strengthens Joel's chances of being MVP. Seeing how the standings look currently, I think as far as the entire NBA, I think the Sixers may be second in the league as far as record wise. I got to double check, but like I mentioned, Jokic has not missed a game all season, unlike Joel, who's missed 19 games and missed 10 straight at one point. While and during that stretch, the 76ers went 7-3 overall, the 9-10 without him. And even when you look at the games that Philly and Denver matched up in, Joel didn't even play in those 2 games. Jokic did. So we didn't even really get to see them 2 match up. But I still think the fact that Joel has missed a good chunk of time in a shortened season kind of hurts his chances compared to somebody like Jokic, who hasn't missed a game, averages nearly a triple-double, averages a triple-double without Jamal Murray. Currently 4th in the West without your co-star. I think if the Nuggets didn't have Jokic versus if the Nuggets didn't have Murray, the Nuggets would be way worse if it was Jamal playing without Jokic. And you could probably say the same thing for the Sixers if it was just Ben and no Joel. Tough. But the numbers really didn't change when their co-stars were out, when Jamal was out, or when Ben was out. Again, Jokic pretty much averaged a triple-double, 27, 10, and 10 on 59, 41, 85 splits. And Denver is 13-6 during that time without Jamal Murray. Again, Jokic played in all 19 of those games. And Philly is 5-7 when they don't have Ben Simmons, but they're 3-5 when Ben plays, but Joel I misworded it. I'm sorry. I kind of wrote that weird. 3-5 when Ben plays, but Joel does. Or I think I messed my notes up there. I should have read over that note there before I put that out there. But hey, Joel, back to his numbers. Joel averaged 31 and 11 on 55, 38, 88 splits during the time that Ben is not playing. So their numbers don't change much. They definitely like Joel slightly increases his point averages, and Jokic slightly increases his assist average. So their numbers don't change that much. Just to reinforce that, I just think it really comes down to availability, because they're averaging similar numbers. Their teams are playoff teams in respective conferences. Of course, one team is better than the other if you look at winning percentage or their records. But seeing that Jokic has had to compete in a tougher conference without his co-star, is 4th in the West and hasn't missed a game, I think that just wins him MVP if he can continue to play the rest of the season and continue to play the way he's been playing all year, which I don't doubt will happen. I think it'll be easy. So let me know what you guys think as far as who you guys think is the MVP candidate, and I'm definitely interested in seeing what you guys think. So I did want to go back and talk about a little bit with the play-in tournament. I want to talk more about that play-in tournament, because I feel like I'm not the only one who was a bit confused about the rules and how it works. So I did want to kind of break that down so everybody knows what to expect with the playoff or the play-in tournament, because it does start on May 18th and it concludes on May 21st. So let's go ahead and break that down. We'll go ahead and break that down. So game 1, the number 7 team in the standings by winning percentage will host at number 8 team, with the winner earning the number 7 seed in the playoffs. The losing team in that game gets another chance in game 3. Now game 2, the number 10 and the number 9 and the number 10 seed will play, with the winner moving on to game 3. The loser is completely eliminated and enters the draft lottery, which is kind of cool. If you look, the fact that you're going into the lottery if you lose is playing, kind of cool. Game 3, the final game, the loser of number 7 versus number 8 will host the winner of number 9 versus number 10, with the victor grabbing the number 8 seed in the postseason, with that loser also being completely eliminated, thus entering the draft lottery. Current East standings. So we've got, if today were the last day of the season, and with current standings, this is who plays each other. So we've got Celtics versus Hornets. We've got Indiana versus Washington. Out west, we've got the Lakers versus the Warriors. We've also got Memphis versus San Antonio. if I were to predict, like just based on if this was like how it would be at the end of the season, like as far as playing, I would want, of course, the Celtics to win. I wouldn't want them to lose in any situation. So I would say Celtics over Hornets. And then I feel like Washington is definitely going to beat Indiana if Miles Turner isn't playing. So and then it'll come down to Washington and Charlotte. I would say Washington, to be honest. I'd say Washington just because I don't know if Indiana or Charlotte has enough to stop both Bradley Beal and Westbrook. So I would say in the East it would come down to the Celtics and the Wizards. If I was a betting man, that's where I would put my money. Out West, I don't want to with this prediction, I might sound biased because of who my team is, and I think y'all know what I'm alluding to. But out West, if it was Lakers versus Warriors, come on now, I gotta take the Warriors, man. I don't want the Lakers winning nothing. I don't want y'all winning a thing, and it's no hatred for anybody on the Lakers. I respect LeBron. I was talking to B about this the other day as far as who my top 5 players are all time. Bron is in my top 5 all time. He's not better than Kobe to me. I think Kobe is always going to be number 1, but LeBron is in my top 5, so I got love for LeBron. AD, I like Taylor Horton Tucker, low key one of my favorite players in the league. Like, I really like watching him play. Bro I can't gas him out too much. He's a Laker. I had to dial it back. But I would have the Warriors winning. Then Memphis versus San Antonio. This is a tough one because I like both teams. I think Memphis is tougher on defense than San Antonio, but San Antonio is a sleeper as far as like how their offense is constructed with built around DeMar. I still think DeMar is one of the more underrated players in the league. So So I got Warriors beating Lakers. I would personally take, just from what I've seen, Memphis taking, or I would say Memphis would beat San Antonio, and then the Lakers would play Memphis, and I can see the Lakers beating Memphis. I mean, let's just be real. So it'll probably come down to the Lakers and Warriors winning their play-in, just based on the fact that I think the Lakers and the Warriors can beat both Memphis and San Antonio. So I think my prediction based on current standings, it'd be Celtics and the Wizards out East winning the play-in, and then the Lakers and the Warriors winning the play-in out West. So that's one of those things like I want to get y'all opinion on, because I know again there's some Lakers fans, one in particular, you know who I'm talking about, that is going to disagree with that whole prediction for the Western play-in, but I'm biased. I'm a Boston fan. I don't really want to see if I'm being really, really real, I want the Lakers to lose both of their games and go home. I want y'all to go chill, because I just don't want to see y'all in the playoffs. I've always said if you give LeBron a little help in the playoffs, man, there's no telling where he's going to end up. More than likely in the finals again. But seeing how the Lakers been dealing with their issues this year as far as availability and whatnot, I don't know about the Lakers, to be honest. And again, I'm biased because I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm not really giving them a whole lot of hope because I don't want to see them win. So call it what you will. That's just me speaking as a Boston fan. So let me know what y'all think as far as who y'all think will come out of the play-in tournament and where they'll end up. Let's talk about it. Let's break that down. So we're gonna go ahead and move into the next topic. The next topic today, this is something that came up in a group chat that I'm in. We were talking about like ranking Travis Scott's discography, ranking like his projects and stuff, and I feel like my comment was misconstrued for me ranking my favorites versus me ranking what I think is better than you know what I'm saying, like ranking them as far as how good they are. I think that was definitely misconstrued, and I want to use this as a chance to talk about it. And I know with him dropping a new project probably relatively soon, Utopia, why not talk about it? Why not talk a little bit about Travis and kind of what I feel is my favorite, and hear from y'all what are y'all favorite projects from Travis. And we may revisit this topic when Utopia comes out, see where that falls with the rest of these. So I want to go ahead and put at number 1, my favorite Travis project is definitely Days Before Rodeo. I think that is, to me, his undeniably his greatest project. Like, That whole tape, top to bottom, all the features, just the entire project. Just, and what I should have done was wrote down all of the songs from each project and just going through each one, like, would this be a skip or not? Things like that. I'm just now thinking of that. But again, I think Days Before Rodeo is the best Travis project. Number 2 on my list would be Astro World. I know this one isn't everybody's favorite. I've seen it be called Astro World. People have definitely given it a lot of crap, but I think it's got so many good songs, and it was such a long album. But and with that, I'm not a big fan of long albums, but for this one, it was different because every song banged. Like, I feel like every song on Astro World, I could go back and listen to that whole project, no skips. Number 3 on my list, and this is where I lost some people in this group chat. Al Faro is number 3 on my list. Yes, that means I have it above Rodeo and Birds. But again, I'm not saying Al Faro is better than Rodeo. I'm not saying Al Faro. I'm not saying Al Faro is better than Birds. It's just what I prefer. Like, what has more replay value to me. Not saying I can't go back and listen to Rodeo and think this is a good project or some songs are better than others. I just really like Al Faro. That was the first Travis Scott project that I heard. I'll never forget when I heard it and where I was. I was in French class. I was on live mixtapes, and I saw on the new releases, like, this cover looks dope. I was always intrigued by mixtapes based on the cover, so I saw it on live mixtapes website, and I listened to it, and from then on I was heavy on Travis. And then it really sunk in for me with Travis when I heard he did the song with T.I. I think, I can't remember the name of it, and then even some of his older stuff like Lovesick. That's what turned me on for real. I'm like, yo, yeah, Travis is definitely one of my favorites now, but Al Faro is how I got introduced. So I look at it differently. I especially like songs like Shit on You, Bad Mood, Hell of a Night. Hell of a Night really is what I think it's the best song on the album, especially the first half of that song, or not album, but mixtape. Hell of a Night is my favorite song on that. You've got the Wale features. You've got what else? I'm shooting blanks right now, but either way, Al Faro to me is number 3 on my list. I don't see what the issue is with Al Faro, and I've even seen other people say this. Like, I saw somebody actually recently on Twitter say Al Faro is better than Rodeo. Now they're saying it's better. I'm not. I'm just saying I prefer Al Faro over Rodeo, but I'm not the only one who thinks Al Faro is like, again, I don't want to say it's better, but I'm not the only one who would rank Al Faro that high on my list as far as favorite Travis project. So moving along, number 4, Rodeo. It had one big disappointment to me, and I feel like this is why it's 4 instead of like 3 above Al Faro or something like that. The Kanye feature. It was horrible. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I was so disappointed when I first heard that, because it was the first Travis and Kanye feature. And I remember around that time I was digging like on like Kanye Twitter and YouTube for like unreleased Kanye or Kanye and Travis features, and you couldn't find them. There was nothing that ever hit the internet. So when this came out and I heard the song and even the video, it was such a disappointment, and I feel like it hurt the album for me, that song alone. And it was like maybe 1 or 2 other songs that I would skip, like if I were to go back and listen now. And I know you're probably like, what songs would you skip? Like, it's Rodeo. I get it. Again, it's not a bad project overall. I just feel like Piss on Your Grave really hurt that project as a whole for me, and that will never change. So number 4 again, Rodeo, and number 5 is Birds. Birds is just, it's not bad either. It's just forgettable for some reason to me, and I don't know why that is, because it's not a bad album. Like, I went back and listened to it when me and B were talking. We were talking about like where we would rank Travis projects, and I was just like, because he had Birds higher on his list, and I'm like, man, damn, I just haven't listened to it in a while. So I honestly just, maybe I'm just forgetting what it really sounds like. So, and I went back and listened to it, and again, it's not bad. It's just, even going back and listening to it, I haven't had an urge to go back and listen again, because it's not as memorable as his other projects like Days or Astroworld or Al Faro. So I don't know. I just have a weird like love-hate relationship, if you will, when it comes to Birds in the Trap scene McKnight. It's not bad. It doesn't have much replay value to me. And that's so important when it comes to music. That's always been the most important thing to me when it comes to how I judge music, is the replay value. Like, how often will I come back and listen to this project or these songs in particular, or this song in particular? So yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for it. That's just my take on it. So I'm interested to see what y'all think. I know some of y'all are gonna have a different take on that, but we're gonna go ahead and move along right into the next topic. And I hate that I didn't use these screens here the entire time. I hate that this is the first run, so y'all I hate it. I just now realized this, but again, this is the first run today, so I just next episode will be a lot better. But yeah, moving on to the next topic, we're gonna talk about some upcoming albums, just a few. Mostly gonna want to talk about my fit. Like, I know I talked about this, I think a few episodes ago, maybe like episode 8 or episode 7, but I did want to talk about just a few in particular that I'm very, very excited to hear. First off, J. Cole, the off season, he just dropped Interlude. Like I said at the start of the podcast, I don't think it was like something to go crazy and tweet the bars and all this stuff like I've seen a lot of people do. And I feel like that's why a lot of people don't like Cole, is because of the fans sometimes. Like, I see a lot of people gas basic bars. Sometimes I'll tweet out a basic like Drake bar or something, but it's really because I find the bar funny, most likely. Or it was like it was so simple, it was clever. I don't know. It's kind of weird to explain, but and that might have kind of contradicted my point just saying that. But I want more. It kind of left me wanting more. Like, that interlude was so short. I love the beat. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, the beat itself, the way it dropped, man, I spun that like 5 or 6 times when it first came out. And I'm if it's anything like KOD, I doubt it will be, because I mean, you can't really compare one Cole album to another. If he's anywhere close to what KOD sounds like, I know that's all I'm listening to probably for at least a week. I know when KOD came out, I was on that for a good amount of time, like non-stop KOD every day. Just, bro, that album, man, yeah, KOD is definitely one of my favorite albums. I don't know where to rank it as far as like all time, but yeah, I'm definitely excited again to see hear what the off season sounds like. And then of course, I think Cole is supposed to be dropping another project called It's a Boy at some point, which will lead into the fall off. So he's got a lot of shit coming, a lot of music coming over the next few years, I guess. So, and it's crazy, like B said, Cole dropped before Drake. I don't know what the fuck Drake doing. He doing State Farm commercials. I don't know. I mean, Drake, I mean, are you ever gonna drop music? I mean, do you rap? I mean, I dropped the tape before you dropped your tape. I mean, that's all. I thought about that. I'm like, I dropped the tape after a 4-year absence before Drake dropped Certified Lover Boy, and you said Certified Lover Boy was coming long before my tape even dropped. So Drake, you bullshitting. You giving everybody a chance to get right. I like it though, cause I feel like you letting everybody else drop, get their shit off. It's gonna quiet down, everything gonna simmer down, and boom, we gonna get that album. So that's what I feel like he probably just waiting for, just for hip hop to kind of, like, as far as releases to kind of drop a little bit, to die down, and he's gonna fill in that gap. So of course, Travis Scott, Utopia, that's another one I'm looking for. Drake and Certified Lover Boy. I thought Kendrick might have been dropping with a whole TDE release. It was instead Isaiah Rashad, which wasn't a bad song, with Deuce. That was a pretty good song, actually. I'm not going to undersell that, but definitely go check that out. Isaiah Rashad, I think it was Lay With You. I think that's what it's called. T Grizzly just dropped yesterday, Built for Whatever, I think is the name of the album. I haven't heard it yet, but I did see him talking about it. If y'all haven't, y'all need to go check out this video with T Grizzly. He was with Aiden Ross and bullied the shit out of him. Like, I don't know if it was like planned, I don't know, but it definitely won't. I don't know. It was funny as hell. Don't get me wrong, but it was just like, dang, like, why you? I don't know. It's y'all go check that out. And then just based on the fact that Isaiah Rashad dropped, the new song with Duke Deuce, I am looking forward to hearing his album. I did read that his is being mixed, so we might have that sometime soon, maybe before the summer's over or right at the start of the fall. We'll see. So let me know who y'all are looking for as far as new albums or new mixtapes, new songs, things like that, and we can talk about it. We can definitely discuss that. I also am planning to drop another tape, not like new music, but I'm dropping a chopped and screwed version of the tape I just dropped, Superman's Dead. If y'all haven't heard it, go check it out. It's on my website, my pinned tweet. It's even on YouTube, I think, as well. But doing more with that chopped and screwed version, mostly just because of the song with French I had listened to it kind of like in chopped and screwed, and it was just like, whoa, bro, I gotta do the whole tape like this. I just feel like it's different. Like, you don't really, especially nowadays, you don't see people doing chopped and screws like they used to. Like, and it's not often that you see people really fucking with chopped and screwed no more as just like as a community. Like, you don't really see that no more. So I wanted to do that. That's probably coming sometime soon. The original plan was after I dropped the tape, Superman's Dead, I was gonna drop the chopped and screw like the week after, but y'all know me. Y'all know how I rock. I'll say one thing, something coming, and it don't come out for another few years. So, but yeah, so that is probably the end of this podcast. I know it seems like I probably rushed, and I definitely was kind of rushing through a few things just because I want to keep the flow going for this. And with this being the first time I'm doing it like this, of course, that's a lot of trial and error. I'm definitely going to take some time and look over this after I release and everything, and see what I could have done differently, see what we can definitely improve as far as topics, or the fact that I didn't use every graphic or whatnot that I had prepared just because I got so caught up in just talking. There's a lot to process with the system I got, but with this being the first time, I'll definitely figure it out as time goes on and make it a lot easier for myself. I had it planned a little bit differently than how I'm actually recording, so that also kind of threw me off a bit. Just forgot a few things, but yeah, let me know what y'all think about today's episode. This is definitely a big moment for me just because of what I'm doing here. Everything that y'all saw and will see, all put together by myself. So I definitely want to hear feedback from everybody. What did you like? What did you didn't like? What's most important is what y'all didn't like, because I want to see from y'all perspective what can be improved. So let me know what y'all think. Tweet me, hit me up on IG, YouTube comments. If you got my number, text me. However you want to get in contact with me, let me know. As always, it's your boy, Mr. TYB, and I'm signing out. Peace. What you gonna do, brother?